Shannon with True Crime with Shannon, and I'm back with another video. But before we get into today's video topic, if you do me a quick favor, if you like the content that you're seeing, hit that like button for me, that thumbs up button. It does help the video get some more traction here on YouTube. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet, I really would appreciate it if you would. If I can speak properly today, it's been a long Monday, you guys. I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. Okay, before I get into today's video, I'm going to be covering the updates in the KIELY Rodney case, and I'm also going to be covering the other case that Adventures with Purpose is about to jump into this week of another missing young lady. But let me cover missing persons first, because we always like to cover missing persons case here on the channel. Now, I have covered Bryan Vlasic Hasel before. However, I wanted to cover him again, and I'm planning on hopefully getting a hold of this family and seeing if I can go out to that side of town. He disappeared by UCF, University of Central Florida. And I live in the Orlando area. It's really on the opposite side of town, but I really do want to go over there and speak with his sister and potentially, do a video and do some coverage on that side of town and see how I can help them that way. So that's something that I've got in the works. Unfortunately, there's just so much going on, but hopefully I can get that going this weekend, if not next weekend for sure. But here is Bryan Vlasic Hasel. He has been missing since November of last year. He's 23 years old. He's from East Orlando, Florida. He's white, male, height 5'8", 210 pounds. Blue is his eye color is blue, and his hair color is blonde. Now, here's what happened to him here. He was actually seen. His last outfit was seen wearing at Foxtail on November 6th. Foxtail is a coffee like type of bar here in Orlando. I don't know if they have them in other parts of the country or if it's just a local small chain, because there's a couple of them over here. But he was last seen, that's the outfit he was seen wearing here on the far right. The second photos there, like shorts, and it looks like a jacket and a top underneath there. Let's see, Bryan Vlasic was last seen near the Place, that's an apartment complex, at Alafaya in Orlando on November 15th, 2021. Bryan Vlasic has been living with his father near the UCF campus, but has not been in contact with his family since November 5th. Of last year. His father had gone out of town, and when he returned, there was no sign of Bryan, who had no access to a vehicle and left his phone behind. He is known to frequent businesses in the UCF Waterford University Boulevard area. So this is some photos of him. I did a post also on my blog a bit. I haven't updated the blog lately, but I'm going to link to that also in the information to this video, as well as to get his information, the poster, if you'd like to share it, which would be really helpful. And if you happen to be in the Central Florida area, this is extremely helpful to share his photos out there, his poster. You can use hashtags Find Vlasic, Vlasic Haslick, that's another hashtag, or Team Vladek. And you can contact, if you have any tips, please contact the Orange County Sheriff's Office, 407-254-7000, or you can call 911. But again, he has been missing since November of last year, so we need to hopefully find him and bring him back to his family, because he just hasn't been seen since he's been seen around that UCF area last year. Now, late yesterday for the East Coast, because I'm here in Florida, I got back and I did a quick live, which, if you guys would like to see more lives, I will do them. I'm just, I don't do as many lives yet. Let me know if you're interested in more lives, and I'll try to schedule at least one a week, and then we'll see if I can build up from there. It's just kind of easier for me to do a few videos a week. But if you want lives, I'm totally up for it. I just have to get a little more organized. I'll be honest with you. Okay, now today there was 2 pressers. One was done by the team who found Kylie's car and her inside of it. Adventures with Purpose, and then the sheriff's office did one later in the day. Now, keep in mind, this is in California. This is near California and Nevada, so this would be, for me, this was quite a few hours of a difference. This was the afternoon for me. Their presser was around like 2 p.m. Eastern time, and then the Adventures with Purpose, they did theirs around 11 or noon, my time here. First, I'll play their presser once we go through this update from the local affiliate KCRA, but I will also kind of go through theirs as well. The Kiely Rodni case. More than likely, the remains found with the car in Prosser Creek Reservoir are missing Truckee teen, the sheriff states. All right, so let me go through their article here, and I'm going to pull up their direct feed. Okay. Human remains found with a car submerged in a reservoir near where Truckee 16-year-old Kiely Rodni went missing 2 weeks ago are, quote, more than likely Rodni's, the Nevada County Sheriff said on Monday. We believe it's our missing person, Sheriff Shannon Moon said, and a day after the volunteer dive team found the car and body at Prosser Creek Reservoir. We have not been able to positively identify, but it's more than likely. She said it's still an active investigation and we will release what we can. But at this time, our commitment is to this family, and that is where we will constantly reach for making decisions on what we will release. The dive team Adventures with Purpose said in a live stream announcement earlier Monday morning that it found Rodni's silver 2013 Honda CR-V, as well as human remains at the search site on Sunday. Adventures with Purpose is a search and recovery dive team dedicated to helping families of missing loved ones. According to the team, it has assisted in helping solve 23 missing person cold cases across the country since 2019. AWP provides services free of charge to families with missing loved ones. They joined the Rodni search efforts on August 20th. Doug Bishop of AWP said the team began its investigation at Prosser Creek Reservoir Sunday at 10:40 a.m. It placed 2 sonar boats in the water, and by 11:15 a.m. their technology had detected an object underwater. So this took them about 35 minutes to locate this vehicle. It's amazing. They had searched the day before. They had searched further away from the campground, and this was right by the campground. So this was day 2 of their search. Bishop said he then confirmed the object was a vehicle under 14 feet of water, about 55 feet offshore. Nick Wren of AWP then suited up with his dive gear and formally identified and assessed the vehicle. Bishop said the group then informed law enforcement and Rodni's family, and the teen's father and grandfather arrived at the scene within minutes, Bishop said. Bishop and Wren called for people to keep Rodni's family in their prayers. Rodni's family has not yet commented on the latest developments. I'll be honest, I don't expect them to comment anytime soon. At this point, I just, my condolences go out to her mother and the rest of her family. They need to go through their process first and, go from there. They don't owe the public anything. That's my opinion on that. Captain Sam Brown with the Nevada County Sheriff's Office said Monday that the lake had been extensively searched with sonar, divers, and swimmers before Adventures with Purpose found Kiely's car. The only thing I can assume is that the technology that AWP has is far, extremely more significant than what these sheriffs and these police departments have. So I really think we need to see about getting, maybe not every department, suited up with this sort of technology, but maybe in each area there needs to be some more, specialties like that to help in these sort of cases. I think that's part of where we're going to have to do debrief, he said. But he said responding peace officers and volunteers who respond in such situations aren't always experts in the field. Tracking underwater is an extremely difficult thing to do, he said, and a lot of this equipment is high-end, very expensive, and you really need to have a lot of practice and expertise. That is completely true. AWP has extremely, lots of training and expertise in what they do. Rodni was last seen on August 6th at a large party with hundreds of teens at the Prosser family campground in Truckee, which is next to the lake. The teen disappeared, seemingly without a trace. Officials said early on that they were treating this case as a possible abduction, which led to more resources for the investigation. Authorities said the last known ping from Rodney's cell phone was made the same night around 12:30 a.m. near the reservoir. Live Copter 3 was over the scene when the car was pulled out of the water on Sunday. See that process in the video below. So I'll show you guys that in just a moment. On Sunday morning, the Placer County Sheriff's Office said 7 personnel were assigned to Rodney's case. That was down from 73 personnel on Friday. The other numbers were, they were very good about informing the public on their socials like Facebook what their numbers were, and I noticed they were up and down, but definitely they were at their lowest on the weekend. 7 helicopters were searching an 80-mile radius from where KIELY was last seen. Yeah, they had 7 copters though out, so that was definitely a different approach for them. About 2,000 tips from the community had been sent to the authorities. A reward for information that would lead to her being found has grown to $75,000. Officials said Monday they believe their investigation had helped to narrow the search area before her vehicle and likely remains were found. The California Highway Patrol is now conducting a traffic fatality investigation. Josh Elhers with CHP's Valley Division said. An autopsy on the remains is expected on Tuesday and results from toxicology reports in a few weeks. So I know some folks they said that in the presser, which I will also play, but they're doing the autopsy tomorrow, which is Tuesday. I don't expect that we're going to hear anything on that for at least 24 to 48 hours. I could be really wrong, but I just don't think, I think it's going to be at least a day or two before we hear. And of course, toxicology is going to be quite longer than that. So here's some video here from last night, Sunday night here. Sorry about the excess noise. That's from the helicopter. Now this would be, you know, it's kind of hard to make out in this particular video. There was a red balloon. You can maybe make out. Let's see if we can make it out here. Let's see. See where those divers are? There's her vehicle. You can kind of see it. There's a boat, and then her vehicle's in between that area. They are very respectful in how they bring this vehicle up. They have a tarp. They immediately start covering it up as it comes up. So, Adventures with Purpose, as well as the authorities that were dealing with this, were extremely respectful. Like, you can tell they were extremely respectful about this entire ordeal. And you can actually see the car right there. This is a good shot. You see the balloon right above it? That would be the vehicle. This a little bit. Yeah, this is actually a pretty good shot of where you can see that balloon. You see the balloon right above it there to my side, and there's the divers. And officials waiting there on that dirt area. This is the gravelly dirt area. You really couldn't see that before. Yeah, this video is quite long. Okay, here's where they're starting to bring it up. If you want to see the whole video, I'm going to link to this article in the information of the video. I'm just going to try to sift through it a bit here. That would be where it's coming up. They're covering it with that tarp. Blue tarp there. They're definitely, like I said, they want to make sure that they're respectful and they cover her up. From what I can understand, the remains, which eventually purpose state it matches her description, but the PD obviously hasn't confirmed that yet, which we will know more on from the autopsy. The remains were in the back seat. So this is why they covered the back seat. Okay, here's the vehicle as it comes up. And originally the vehicle was actually upside down, so it looks like it was right side up when they started pulling it in. So I'm going to assume that eventually purpose rotated it before they brought it up, but I'm not 100% on that one, so don't quote me. There's the vehicle, and then it's going to be on that flatbed. The helicopter noise was a bit annoying. Apologies for that. But that's kind of a look at that. Again, if you want to watch the entire footage, I believe it's pretty long, and there was some live coverage last evening as well. So
this is going to serve as a press release debrief of our efforts searching for and finding KIELY RODNI. Anything within this video may be used by any news agency or outlet within their own news reporting. This is only an announcement and briefing. Fully edited episodes will be released soon, so please be patient. We have found KIELY RODNI's vehicle and have confirmed that there were remains inside.
An official identification of the remains will be made and announced by authorities once their investigations are complete. Please understand and respect this is a highly active investigation by the FBI and multiple local sheriff's departments, and we are limited to the scope of details we can release.
We began our search for KIELY at Prosser Creek Reservoir on August 21st at 10:40 a.m. We placed 2 sonar boats in the water. By 11:15 a.m., Nick detected an object underwater using cutting-edge Garmin sonar technology. I was able to then confirm that it was, in fact, a vehicle in roughly 14 feet of water and only 55 feet offshore. After marking the vehicle with our magnet, Nick suited up in his dive gear and conducted the dive to formally identify and assess the vehicle, with me running OTS comms topside. Once we confirmed it was indeed KIELY's vehicle, we immediately notified family, law enforcement, and Dad and Grandpa were on scene within minutes. Please refer to our episodes for complete search investigation that we conducted. These episodes will be released very soon. Again, this takes time to edit. We will need to put these together in an appropriate way in order to respect law enforcement as well as the family. Those should be out, I would estimate, probably within the next week or so. The Placer County Sheriff's Department, Nevada County Sheriff's Department, the entire Placer County Sheriff's dive team has been incredible to work with. We understand that the resource we provide with our unique skill set is rare, and it is an honor to help agencies and families all across the nation. We will be working together with authorities here to share this knowledge over the next couple of days. It is always our mission to promote and share the techniques we utilize so that our purpose can help as many people as possible.
We'd like to thank all of our supporters. We can't thank all of you enough for your donations and putting us in this position as we continue to grow and help more families. Simply watching our episodes, liking, sharing, subscribing, and following our social media platforms enables us to do what we do. So thank you all for putting us in this position.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It helps us help families, and it's free. It's free to subscribe. Additionally, we would like to acknowledge the incredible support from law enforcement agencies across the U.S., including the FBI. We hope to continue our efforts hand in hand with them with the upcoming cases of Jalissa Fuentes in Selma, California, and also Annette Adams in San Obispo, California, coming up later this week. At this time, I'd like to thank our entire team for making this happen. It's not just me. It's not just Nick. There's an entire team of us that are out here. We collectively go through these cases, these investigations, and it takes a team to do so. So I'd like to bring you guys on camera at the moment and thank the entire team that made this entire trip possible. Carson, Cade, Kevin, Josh Cantu, Devin. This is our entire team. Like I said, it's not me. It's not Nick. You know, it takes an entire village, including you guys, that put us in this position to do this. And it's an honor, because without your support, we would not be able to do what we do. So thank you guys. Thank you guys as a team. We appreciate all your hard work on the road. It's not easy. You know, we travel across the entire nation, day after day, state after state, city after city, helping family after family and agency after agency. And it's a lot of hard work when we're out here and we're trying to do something that hasn't been done before. And thankfully, we're in the position to do so because of you guys and all of you at home.
Okay, so you can watch the remainder of that, and they're actually, as I just pulled this up, they're doing a live stream right now. So I'm going to post their channel in the information of this video. Please go over and subscribe to Adventures with Purpose if you have not already subscribed to them. And if you are able to and you feel like you would like to, please make a donation to them as well. They are an entirely volunteer. They are nonprofit. They run by donations to get them out to these destinations to help these families have resolution for their loved ones. So definitely check them out, and their website is amazing, and they have some amazing videos. I have to go through them. They are just some amazing stuff that I've already taken a look through. So Adventures with Purpose, please check them out on YouTube and also their website. Okay, so here is the presser from the Prosser County Sheriff's Office that they put on today, their 8/22 press conference update on the KIELY Rodnni missing persons investigations.
Good morning. I'm Shannon Moon. I'm the Sheriff of Nevada County, and appreciate everyone's response and being here today to get some more information into our investigation. We have been working with the family and really since the very beginning trying to make sure that we focus on all of our efforts being for the family. And at this time, you know, last night we did receive some information of the recovery of the vehicle that we've been searching for, and it was located inside the Prosser Lake. It's located within a search zone that we have been searching since the very beginning of our operation. We are very fortunate that we had the assistance of a volunteer group, the Adventures with Purpose, that came out with some very specific expertise and were able to help us in locating the vehicle that we had been searching for several weeks. It's at these times that we really want to recognize the reason why we're all here, and that is for this family. We've said that from day one with our staff, the incredible amount of collaboration that we've received from our partners in this region. You know, clearly being a mountain town, we're used to having great collaboration, knowing that none of us have enough resources to go around, but when we all work together, I think it is an incredible show of how committed all of our agencies are for our community here. Working hand in hand in unified command, joint command with the Placer County Sheriff's Office. Folks from the California Highway Patrol, the Truckee Police Department, and our friends from the Federal Bureau of Investigations. The amount of effort that all of these agencies put together really truly is why we're here today. And as we eliminated a lot of tips and information that was coming in. I think it's very important to understand that all of that work did lead us to this time. And being able to focus on the services that we provide to our families here that are impacted. We've recovered the vehicle. We recovered the vehicle last night. We have located a decedent inside the vehicle. We believe it is our missing person. We have not been able to positively identify, but it's more than likely where we are today. And we wanted to make sure that the family had all that information first. The last thing we want to do is have them learn information outside of our team. So I think that is one of the points that I really want to make sure that our communities know, and the folks that are watching today know, is truly how committed we've been throughout these last few weeks in coming to this resolution. It's still an active investigation, and I understand there will be, and we will continue to receive lots of questions regarding our investigation, and we will release what we can. But at this time, our commitment is to this family, and that is where we will consistently reach for making decisions on what we release. Again, it is still a very active investigation. So again, I appreciate everyone being here, getting this information out. It is the reason why we're here is because of the community support and the amount of work that was put into this investigation to where we could clearly identify very specific areas to search. The Adventures with Purpose folks did just a fantastic job at being able to locate the vehicle as quickly as they did, based on, again, a lot of heavy lifting that the folks behind me have done throughout the last couple of weeks. So I appreciate everyone being here, and we'll open up for some questions.
I'll go first.
Yes, ma'am.
What agency called in Adventure with Purpose, and when did you decide, if it was you guys, that we needed this extra help?
Captain Sam Brown from my agency will be happy to answer this question.
Yeah, thanks. The question was which agency requested. I'm not exactly sure that an agency had reached out and requested from within our unified command, but as everybody's reading online and seeing all the information that was coming out, and we realized that there was an interest from Adventures with Purpose, we did link up that group with Sergeant Mike Powers with the Placer County Sheriff's Office. They had lots of communication as they were going to be traveling to this area, and then a lot of detailed information that was shared that wasn't necessarily out to the public yet, that hopefully was of assistance to helping them locate the area to go to.
You said the car was found in the area where you've been searching since the beginning. What did AWP have that maybe you guys didn't have, or why was that missed in the initial search?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. That's one that everybody's going to have, right? Is how did we not find it when we were searching? The lake was extensively searched with side sonar, with an ROV. We had divers, we had swimmers. I think that's part of what we're going to have to go back to do and debrief. You know, when peace officers are out in the field and volunteers and searchers, it doesn't mean that they're experts in the field, right? These are sometimes ancillary duties, and we're calling from other agencies to try to jump in. And tracking underwater is an extremely difficult thing to do. So I think part of our debrief on any of these situations is how do we figure out to improve our services, work on our resources and the way that we use them. A lot of this equipment is high-end, very expensive, and you really need to have a lot of practice and expertise. And I think that's where a group like Adventures with Purpose is able to focus and practice those skills and really hone them. And so we're appreciative that they were able to come out and locate it. I also don't want to take away, though, from anything from our volunteers as well as law enforcement that have been out there. I mean, we literally had people swimming in the water looking down so that we didn't disturb the ground initially. You know, my understanding is the vehicle was upside down. That also makes it more difficult. And if silt and things come up above, that can also make things difficult. So before I really can say, hey, why we weren't able to do it, I also could say that we eliminated a lot of areas that we would still be searching if we didn't have all the great people out there. And that helped give them some guidance as well, I think. But clearly their expertise in diving and their equipment that they brought to the table assisted us, and we appreciate that.
Did they specifically have any specific technology that all of these 16 law enforcement agencies didn't have?
I'll have to debrief with them before I'd have the answer to that question. I believe we're going to try to do that today.
Adventures with a Purpose has referenced red tape a couple times, saying they don't have the red tape that maybe your assisting agencies have. What is that red tape, and why might it be easier for a private organization to do this?
I don't know exactly what we're talking about in regards to red tape. I think that from the very beginning, we never deterred anybody other than certain scenes that we closed off at times that became areas of interest and we wanted to protect for evidence. So I don't know that there was any red tape ever put on this. I mean, if you look at the amount of man hours that went into it, it was like over 15,000. And I know it's even higher than that now. I don't think there was ever red tape. There were maps created for civilians to be out. The boat ramp in the lake were never actually shut down, because the way we were looking at it is more eyes out there, the better off we're going to be for finding KIELY, and that was continually the goal. So I'm not sure that there was ever red tape. I think it comes down to lots of factors, and like I said, we're going to debrief and try to figure out how do we become better and do a better job at these types of operations.
Why did agencies believe it was an abduction at first?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of miscommunication. I don't know that it was ever labeled as an abduction. I think that you can never take that off the table, and so as we talked as a command group and unified command with all my partners that you see behind us, you couldn't remove that off the table because we hadn't found her. And so, that was some of the struggles with some of the services that we wanted to obtain and things we wanted to do, but we couldn't say it wasn't an abduction, but we also never said that it was an abduction. I think that was clarified fairly early on, but we also probably wouldn't have received all the services and all the people if that wasn't an option. If this was truly a search and rescue mission, we may not have had all the resources to conduct interviews. I think they identified over 400 juveniles, and to be able to interview all those folks and provide feedback off of all that, it takes an army of people, and I think we were lucky to be able to put that together between my partners and agencies that are right behind me.
Did any of the juveniles, anybody mention a car going over the side, a car in the water, out of all those?
I don't believe that statement was made, not to my knowledge.
Was there any indication that this was an accident or foul play?
That's still being investigated. If we'd like, we could turn it over for CHP can give some information. They are conducting the accident investigation utilizing their mate team.
Good morning, Josh Ellers, Assistant Chief with CHP Valley Division based in Sacramento, which Truckie's a part of. I can confirm that our department is conducting a fatality traffic collision investigation. We're harnessing all of our resources, working with all of our partners here. As you see, we're utilizing our MATE team, our multidisciplinary accident investigation team, to harness more data from the vehicle that was recovered. Also, we've utilized all of our air resources to map and video and take photographs of the area in question. And that's currently ongoing, so I can't comment on the nature and details of that investigation, but I certainly appreciate all the partnership that we have here with our local county and state partners. We'll continue to assist in any overarching way that we can as an agency.
Do we know how close the vehicle was to the actual party site?
I don't have the exact location in terms of distance, but it was relatively close to the area in question.
Like a few hundred yards or a half a mile?
I couldn't say. I haven't seen the exact data and the mapping. That's still ongoing.
Did many party goers leave by the same route?
This is, I can't comment on all that, but what I can tell you is, and I think it's been discussed, is this is a very popular area. There's a lot of foot traffic, a lot of vehicular traffic on and off road. So certainly crisscrossed and a lot of extensive movement in that area continually throughout this time of year.
Is there any suspicion that it could have been another car who maybe hit this car, or was it a one-person car situation?
I don't have that information that I could comment on at this time. What I can tell you is we'll do a thorough investigation. We'll take every bit and piece of information that we have, including what's already been provided to us, and we'll reach some conclusions that will be provided to the parties of interest at that time.
Before Adventures with Purpose went out there this weekend, when was the last time that we had swimmers or divers from any of these 16 agencies out there searching that area?
I'd defer back to the Nevada County Sheriff for that question. Thank you.
Yeah, I would say that we actually have had divers, not necessarily in Prosser, but in lots of bodies of water up until even the days that they were there. There were many ponds that we were following up on Coldstream, as well as other bodies of water. So I don't know that dive teams ever discontinued. It was more of trying to still follow up on all of those things. And I believe Adventures with Purpose also had been diving at other lakes as well within the area.
Is there any time from the time that Adventures with Purpose started to how long it took them to find it?
You're talking on Prosser Lake specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was relatively quickly, but I don't have an exact time. Like, again, we're gonna have to debrief with them, figure out, between putting equipment down, getting in the water, and identifying where the car was at.
Can you talk about what happened last night in terms of taking the car out? What kind of law enforcement was there, and what happened last night?
Yeah, I mean, I think most of the law enforcement partners you see behind me were present during that time, trying to do the best they could for ensuring that everything was done correctly, and also trying to add some levels of privacy to the best of the ability in worrying about the family and ensuring that they were covered as well. But I mean, beyond that, I don't know what your specific question is asking.
Logistically, how do you get a car out that's offshore? How does that happen, and then where does the car go? What happens? What happens from last night to when you arrived to today?
Yeah, so once the car was located, dive teams were assembled. I believe Placer County was probably still the primary dive team. They have to use lots of devices to lift the car, turn it over, and then the use of tow trucks was what made it possible for pulling the vehicle out of the water. And the vehicle is taken down. The FBI has offered up assistance and are going to be helping to conduct investigation regarding the vehicle itself, and making sure that we don't miss something that may be in there that we're not aware of.
Are you guys confident the car was in the water since the night of the party?
I have no reason to believe that it wasn't, but until we have those answers, I wouldn't know the answer to it.
Can you just clarify as far as what teams had been in that area before Adventures with Purpose, if any, on that specific, on Prosser?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost so many that it would be hard to link out between the different teams. There were numerous boats: Yuba County, Alameda, Nevada County, Placer County. Swimmers came from Washoe County. We had divers from every single one of those agencies and then some. I mean, it was a vast amount of people. And I would just say, unless you've conducted these types of searches and tried to do it, it does take a level of expertise, and nothing's perfect. When you fly a helicopter over the air trying to identify if something is there, most places give that less than a 5% probability of detection, meaning if you flew over, you only have a 5% chance of seeing something. You had trees and brush and bushes and dirt and all these other things, and it becomes a pretty difficult task. Even though once you find the answer, on hindsight, everything looks 20/20. The reality is it's not that simple. It is pretty complex and it's tough. So again, we're just appreciative that the resources came out and were able to help us in locating it.
Were there signs that the person in the car tried to escape?
I think that's too preliminary for us to be able to determine that at this time.
Was there more than one body in the vehicle?
No, there was not more than one body in the vehicle.
Describe the difficulty of what water does over 2 weeks to evidence.
It depends. That's a complicated question. I'm not an expert in water. However, temperature of the water and things like that come into play. But it can add difficulty based on many factors that can cause damage to, obviously, things that we want to look at to investigate, but also to bodies that may have been submerged for a period of time.
There likely could have been tire tracks or some type of signal that a car did go into the water there. Did rain impact that? Did this heavy activity in the area impede seeing those signs?
I think everything's a factor, but again, that's where we rely on the MATE team from CHP to come in with their expertise and be able to provide some of those answers.
And it seems that Adventures with Purpose have pretty sophisticated equipment. Is this something that the agencies here have, or you all still need?
Yeah, I'll have to debrief with them to figure out what equipment exactly they use to see if it's items that we have or if it's a matter of training with the items that we have. So until we talk to them and know exactly what they used and how they went about it, I wouldn't be able to answer that correctly.
They also said the car was 14 feet deep. Did y'all go that far to look for the car?
Yeah, some of that information is sometimes deceiving. So yeah, the car was reported at 14 or 15 feet. However, the water level since the 6th has also dropped a vertical 3.5 to 4 feet, which could be 20 to 25 feet off of shore. So a lot of things have changed in those aspects. Until we really can look into all that information and sort through it, it's difficult to say whether those factors had a play in it or not. I think it's still more important for us to debrief, look at training, look at equipment, look at tools, and look at outside entities that are experts, where this is maybe their full-time gig that they do, and try to see how we have that involvement from the community to come out and help support.
At this time, can you tell if there are any signs of foul play?
At this time, we're not going to be able to say anything like that.
It's been said that people were drinking at the party that night. Was anything found in the car that could lead you to believe that she was drinking that, where the person found was?
Yeah, the investigation's ongoing, so we're not going to be able to comment on that.
It seemed like where they found the car, it might have been pretty far from the road. Do you have suspicions that maybe the people were parking on that little island?
I wouldn't be able to comment on that either unless somebody gave some statements to that. I hadn't heard any information like that, though.
Do you have any theories as to how the car got in the water, and also what gear was the car found in?
I think if I make up theories, then I'm just guessing, and I'm going to lead us back into a trail that's not certain, so we'll wait until we have those facts and details. And as far as the car, we're not going to release any information until we've done a solid investigation on it.
Who received the first call from Adventures with Purpose, and what was that call like?
I don't know that we received a first call. I think we reached out to them after we read it online. And so I'm not sure, I mean, again, with 150 law enforcement officials, it's possible that a call came in and something happened. But from the Unified Command and talking with my partners, none of us were aware of an initial. So we tasked the investigative sergeant with contacting them and reaching out. So I believe, best I know, we did that proactively on our end.
And they contacted the family?
I think there's still some sketchy details on exactly how that contact went out. So I don't want to speak on behalf of the family.
What was it when you heard, you personally, when you heard that they might have found the car? What went through your head?
Well, I think what we all are thinking, which is hopefully this is true, and we got a lot of work ahead of us to make sure that we still do right by the family. Our biggest concern is making sure that the family has been aware of everything from day one, and that we're not shielding them, but we're also not bombarding them with things. There's a lot of ups and downs throughout this investigation, a lot of emotional turns throughout the whole thing, and our goal is to make sure we're supportive of the family throughout this whole task and doing our best in that.
How long will an investigation into the car, maybe that's for Highway Patrol or FBI, how long does an investigation to look at a car take to figure out what may have happened?
I mean, I think there's a lot of factors in that. I don't mind turning it over to CHP and let them.
Because obviously we have a multifaceted investigation with multiple agencies, it can take time. The FBI is working, evaluating the vehicle. We have to come in and do that. We want to allow them to work. We'll come in and examine data, examine the vehicle, have all of our investigators look at that car. So depending on circumstances, it can be several days, it could be several weeks. We also want to wait on other information related from the coroner's office and other things that all get compiled into a comprehensive investigation. So the easy answer is it could take a while.
All right, we've had an opportunity to hear from most reporters. Most have asked 2 questions. Is there anybody that had a follow-up question that they have not been able to ask yet?
No follow-up.
Go ahead, sir.
There was a report that Adventures with Purpose was told by police that they did not need to search Foster, or at least in the specific area where the car was found, because that had been extensively searched already. Is that true?
Yeah, I'd say that's probably not accurate, and we shared maps, ping information, and locations, and so we probably shared that was extensively searched and sonar was used, and that may add to the level of where they chose to go to first or last. However, nothing was prevented or shared, and I don't believe that we gave any indication that we thought we knew where she was at, because clearly from all of our daily press releases, we reported over and over again that we didn't know where she was at, and we needed anybody's help and assistance in finding that location.
But you were working in partnership with Adventure with Purpose?
Yeah, I believe that what ultimately occurred was that our sergeant was able to make contact with them, Sergeant Powers with the Placer County Sheriff's Office, come up with a plan and share information on where things were at. So we're still appreciative, like I said, of them being able to locate the vehicle.
Will they get the cash reward for helping find the vehicle and the body?
It's not a question I'll be able to answer.
May I ask, have you been able to determine a cause of death, and will there be a toxicology report conducted?
The question was, have we determined cause of death, and will there be a toxicology inquest? Yes. Autopsy is scheduled for tomorrow. Toxicology results generally take 4 to 6 weeks for a return on those, and at that time we will provide that back over to Nevada County.
Thank you. Does anyone from the family want to make any comments at this point specifically about this massive search and all the tips that came in?
Don't believe they do at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up the press conference. Thank you all for coming here today. We certainly appreciate it.
So that was the presser, and I'm actually going to make this one separate video after seeing how long this is going to be, and I'm going to make another video about Fuentes. So stay tuned for that as well. I want to give her as much attention as we've been giving Kylie, which is no way we're going to be able to do that at this point, but I definitely want to give that young lady as well some attention. Okay, some things of note is I know that I believe that they're just not responding. The PD, the authorities here. Obviously, Adventures of Purpose told us that it was about 55, I believe, yards from the campground where the party was, and as well as it was in 14 feet of water. But I do agree that the water probably did recede, so it could have been 3 or 4 feet of a difference. So that does make sense. So, and I believe that the Adventures of Purpose did contact the authorities. Being that there's so many involved, who knows who they contacted. But I also part of the family for Kylie was on scene. Her father and her grandfather were on scene, so they were notified before that Facebook post. And the initial Facebook post that was made on Sunday by Adventures with Purpose was originally slightly different, and they edited it. So I actually did not screenshot the original. So the one I posted was actually the edited version of the press release, from from the announcement from Adventures of Purpose. But this was definitely, in my opinion, these reporters, they asked some really good questions. Unfortunately, there's not going to be a whole lot of answers until we get that autopsy done and they do the, the criminal investigation on the scene, and obviously that they, check out that vehicle. So I don't think we're going to see anything for at least 2 or 3 days, and it could be longer. But I mean, it depends, I suppose, how quickly they're doing it. But I'm going to assume they're going to try to get this done as quickly as possible, but while still being very thorough and, keeping their quality. But with the FBI being involved, with the CHP doing the traffic and the vehicle, I think that we're going to definitely get a really good investigation at this point on what happened here with the vehicle and, of course, from the coroner, the medical examiner's office. My two thoughts were, I believe I said it last night when I did the, little short live, was my thinking is there's a couple possibilities of how this happened. One, she took off and she just missed the road and she was so out of it. And there's actually an image I'm going to pop up here on the screen that someone actually posted that she may have missed the turn and went the opposite way and instead went toward the water. That's a possibility, or something to that effect. The other possibility is foul play, which is why it cannot be ruled out until the investigation is completed. Did she overdose and somehow, something happened in her car, ended up in the water? I hate to speculate to that, but I mean, that's obviously still a possibility. I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping it was just a sad, she got in the car and just missed the road. But, up until then, we're not going to know until we get, these results back from the coroner and the CHP and the FBI as far as her vehicle and the scene is concerned. So that's going to be it for this one. Like I said, I'm going to split this up because it's going to be more respectful for the other families missing person as well. So just stay tuned for that. I'm going to post it right after this video, hopefully this evening as well. And if not, it'll be up Tuesday morning on the channel. So I want to thank you guys for checking out the channel, and please do let me know your thoughts. Obviously, let's all be respectful. My condolences go out to the family again, as I previously stated. I realize that these law enforcement departments, a lot of folks believe that they just didn't do very well. I personally think that they did probably the best of their ability. It sounds to me like that they want to learn and see if they can do more. These are smaller departments that probably just don't have the gear and expertise that, AWP has. And it's sad, but that's just, the way things are. I mean, a lot of these departments just don't have that sort of stuff. They're not large departments, it seems, out in that side of, out west out there. So I want to thank you guys again for checking out the video, And please be sure to subscribe to Adventure with Purpose. I will be including that. They're linked in the information. And with that said and done, I hope you guys have a great day and stay safe.